Hello fellow shareholders, I'm Andrew Abercrombie, everyone calls me Drew, and I'm a co-founder and shareholder of Humm Group Limited. Just to be clear, I'm speaking to you as a co-shareholder, not as chairman of the public company. I was once a commercial lawyer. I have a degree in economics and an MBA. In 1992, Humm got started when I cut a deal with Westpac to rescue a tiny, broke lending business in Sydney. It started as a small ticket commercial leasing business specialising in fax and photocopiers. Then in 1993, we were approached by Optus to help finance their expensive digital phones. This was when point-of-sale consumer finance in Australia was born. That little broke business went against the odds to become Humm, the giant it is today, operating in 5 countries with a book of $5 billion, plus almost $1 billion under management. Humm is essentially 2 businesses, commercial leasing and consumer finance. This means that we can provide interest-free finance for your child's dental work or enable granny to buy expensive hearing aids, and at the same time, Humm is one of Australia's biggest non-bank financiers of all manner of equipment and cars, even agricultural equipment to keep our farmers happy. We're also one of the biggest interest-free lenders in the residential solar market, Australia-wide, which we pioneered. I've been at the helm and shepherded the business through the 92-93 monetary crisis, the Asian currency crisis, the global financial crisis in 08 and 09, and finally the COVID crisis. When COVID was called as a pandemic, Humm initially experienced hardship claims of more than 40% of its customers. That was unnerving. But this tough, resilient little business, with many of you supporting it, weathered all the storms thrown at us. We focused on building relationships of trust with all of Australia's key bankers. And one of the reasons Humm is trusted today is that under my stewardship for 30 years, I've always maintained a conservative position with working capital and cash management. That is why we were able to borrow billions to fund Humm. Sadly, there have been false and misleading accusations of poor corporate governance from one Jeremy Raper. But none of that stands up to close analysis of the real facts. This guy will tell you he is your friend and co-shareholder, but in reality, he wants to take control of the board, rip out every dollar of cash he can get his hands on, although he's trying to give you the impression that your board, and particularly I, have failed you. Never mind that I'm the largest shareholder with the most to win or lose from sound governance and performance. Humm, which as some of you will know, was previously called Flexi Group, and it's in its 20th year as an ASX-listed public company. And until Mr. Raper arrived on the register as a shareholder in July 25, we have enjoyed a clean, clear ride with respect to governance and strike-free AGMs. Having said that, as a board, we are humble and quick to acknowledge where we could have done better. To ensure that we weren't fooling ourselves, we recently undertook and subjected the board to a governance review by top independent expert and governance specialist, McGrath-Nicholl. They are nearing completion of their report, which we will gladly make public, but I can say confidently that in short, they're more than satisfied with our governance protocols. On another note, you may have seen some negative reporting in the financial media. A close read reveals that the allegations are in fact innuendo that cannot be supported by underlying facts. I challenge you to find a fact as distinct from innuendo. Factuous conclusions and false accusations are thrown around indiscriminately in recent weeks, making you wonder about the quality of modern business journalism. Well, let's talk about this stuff. First of all, there was the failed Latitude Financial bid and the allegation that I ruined the deal. The reality is that the value of the scrip offer component dropped by $90 million since the time it was struck. The board at the time, excluding me who was not consulted, terminated the sale and cancelled the extraordinary general meeting, thereby denying shareholders to make their own minds up. In order to protect shareholders, I was lobbying for a $35 million top-up cash payment and for more cash, less scrip. Latitude were not receptive, but who knows what might have happened had the deal not been pulled. End of story. Now let's discuss the recent non-binding indicative offer, NBIO, made by my family company. Firstly, the 58-cent offer was placed at a 35% premium to the undisturbed spot price. The offer was placed at a 5% premium to the 3-year VWAP, which is the volume-weighted average price. However, when the NBIO became known through a leak in late June, along comes Mr. Raper, seeing an opportunity to make a killing for himself at the long-term expense of existing shareholders, executed by numerous devious and behind-play actions and negative innuendo. His actions alone were the reason we could not progress the bid and were compelled to withdraw, a great loss for all and for which I'm deeply sorry. Please keep in mind that had I not made the bid, there is every chance that the stock would still be trading at 43 cents, not as it is today at 75 cents. You will see that Mr. Raper proposes to take control of the board and pay out tens of millions. I reject his plan because it's dangerous. I'm conservative and I know that the most important reality in this business is trust and credibility with our bankers and customers. Let me be very clear about who I am and who I'm not. I am not a ruthless win-at-all-costs activist investor, flitting in and out of stocks, whispering corporate sweet nothings, combined with hyperbole and exaggerated and misleading claims, and then disappearing in the night with the family silver. I want Humm to keep improving operations, keep expanding where we win, and return capital when it's responsible and sustainable. And I want Humm to be worth more in 2 years, in 5 years, 10 years, not less in 6 months. What I want is for every shareholder, large and small, to share in that value accretion. Also, I'm happy to commit to expanding the Humm board and adding at least one independent director who the board is satisfied complements the existing skill set. Also, our Chief Executive Angelo Damasi has agreed to join the board. Behind every good result are the teams who serve our customers, manage risk and deliver for shareholders every day. Board upheaval coupled with the capital extraction plan would bring on uncertainty precisely when we need stability and continuity with lenders, merchants and the people who run this business. Not to mention the risk of losing great team members who fear instability. Our commitment is also to protect the culture and capability that I have powered since 2022 and to give our teams the clarity and stability to keep compounding growth. In closing, I'd like to acknowledge the passion and dedication of our board. There aren't many boards around that have members who put in 40, maybe 60 hours a week, helping and supporting management reach their goals. We have an unbelievably talented team of people who deserve stability, not this wave of disruption. As great people have retired, we've turned our focus to promoting from within our current team. This sends a strong message to the team that great opportunities exist within Humm. Our Chief Executive was promoted from being Head of IT. After all, we are a sophisticated fintech. And he's our first Chief Executive that has come from a strong technology background as a partner and Managing Director at Boston Consulting Group. Our Head of Consumer Australia, Emma Skondras, came up through the ranks for 18 years and was promoted 6 months ago to run our consumer division. Our country head of New Zealand, Jackie Horrigan, similarly was a long-standing employee, promoted 6 months ago. Our head of Ireland and Canada, PJ, has grown up with the company. Please give your utmost consideration to allowing us to continue executing on our strategic vision in order for all of us to work together and win and profit. You did not see much about Humm in the headlines until Mr. Raper arrived on the scene. Read the material he plants and promotes and you will not see any facts, only innuendo. If you intend to hold your shares and sleep well at night, vote against all of Raper's resolutions and retain me as a director. Make sure that Jeremy Raper cannot destroy this great business. Vote against Raper's resolutions to remove me and vanquish the Sladen Raper bandits. If you have already voted in favour of Raper's resolutions, please consider changing your vote. Thank you for your time to consider this very important decision for the future of Humm Group Limited.